Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday stream. Oh, it feels like ages since I was streaming last. And make sure everything's running. Looks like I've got volume. Looks like you can hear me. Yeah, I think everything's good. So yes, how are we all? Nice to be back on stream. It's only been a week, but yeah, it feels like forever. It's been a funny old week this week. We've had a lot of work being done in and around the house. Yes, how's the shed? Well, funnily enough, it's going a bit like this. So there's the garden as it was yesterday, completely ripped up and holes everywhere and stuff being rerouted, and it was eventful. We had at one point the track came off the digger, which was fun, and then at a later point the throttle cable broke on the little mini skip thing that you can wheel around. So it wasn't without its challenges, but now photo here. We have a concrete base and it's ready for the construction of the dev shed, which is all very exciting. So it should be, when it's done, around about 2.8 meters by about 6 meters. So you're looking at about 20 square meters. Yeah, not quite big enough for a dance hall. So yeah, I should be able to have about, actually, don't I do some scribbling. So I think the plan is I will have like a desk over here somewhere. Chair. Best chair graphic ever. Yeah, so kind of desk along that wall over there somewhere. That's actually almost to scale. There's not a lot of room this side once you've got a chair and a desk in there. Over on this side, probably going to have just a small like cabinet thing, sink, kettle, wire, plug it in. And probably put like a couch or something kind of here. And that gives me sort of a VR space there where I can do VR dev. That's kind of the plan as it stands. So it's not huge, but it's big enough for a nice dedicated space for development, which is sorely needed at this point. I no longer have to sit in the corner of my bedroom. And the cat's just appeared. Hello, Pip. Clearly she's hungry. But funnily enough, I actually did model the interior in CAD. I do have that somewhere. Well, I say that, I had that somewhere. Let me shoo the cat away a minute. There you go. Oh, this was a before picture. Yeah, so that was our garden before the work started, and then like after. So it's it absolutely got decimated. And yeah, and I did do a CAD drawing. There we go. Yeah, so that's the sort of the rough CAD drawing I did, and kind of most of that was kind of eyeballing it and guessing the measurements because I didn't quite know how big the concrete pad was going to be at that point. That's actually my current desk, like exactly to scale. So yeah, so it should be good. I'm going to turn this into a bit of a streamer area. Might even stick a camera up as well, so you can look at my stupid face while I'm streaming. And as a scale reference, there's the dev shed in scale with the Magellan class. It kind of looks tiny and pathetic from there. But yeah, so all fun stuff. Well, I will have a mini fridge because I'm going to need milk storage for cups of tea. Will you be able to see me while I'm watching? That would be weird. It would be quite funny, actually, just to hide the shed somewhere. I mean, it's small enough that you could just squirrel it away. Just have it on a planetary surface somewhere. I would love nothing more to Colin Furs this and go straight down underground. But we actually live on the coast, so there isn't really much underground other than sea. Yeah, I'll probably make the next stream coding oriented. I needed to get this staircase finished. So what I've been doing over the past couple of days, and to be fair, I haven't had a lot of time for development work this week, what with everything going on with builders and having to move stuff and empty out our entire attic so they could get in there to sort the wiring out. It's yeah, it's been a bit full on this week, but I've managed to do a few bits and pieces. Oh, thank you, Delta. I forgot I fixed that. Actually, yeah, that's something else I did this week. You would not believe the amount of documentation, IDs, proof of address, and God knows what else Google needs, or rather AdSense needs, to enable payments. It's absolutely ridiculous. I had to do more work and fill in more paperwork for Google AdSense than I did to actually set up the company as a limited company and set up the taxes with the HMRC. Literally, Google AdSense took more documentation than that, which is just madness. Yeah, so I've kind of sorted out the scaling around the stairwell. I just needed to get everything kind of just blended in properly, because with the more accurate framework and everything being more solid now, it wasn't quite lining up straight, but it now is. And if we turn on that, you can see we've got the actual supports, the brackets in place now for all the panels that are going to be going in there. And of course the floor now properly reaches the decks. Another change which I've been wanting to do for a while on the stairs is that the top step is an extension of the upper section, so you're not stepping down onto the first step, you're stepping onto the first step, and the same at the bottom as well. It never quite felt right just having just a single piece of wood here with a light on it rather than having a full step. So that's just neater now. And it's also just the geometry sort of on the whole is just a lot more smoother than what I did with the first set of steps. Oops. And it has kind of like properly mapped out attachment points as well. So you'll have visible bolts and attachment points just to make it a much more physical structure that's tied into the ship itself. Wow, Thirstus, thank you. Yeah, I am going to need therapy. Absolutely. Thank you, that's amazing. So yeah, so for this stream, I wanted to get these steps finished and modelled and looking good, and then we can stick a build out with a working stairwell, which would be nice. Oh, and the other thing I did after the last stream is I finished off the flooring around C deck. That one. So just the flooring section here. This is these are all new and kind of redone and properly lined up, which you can probably see better on here actually. So this section is just a lot more polished now compared to how it was before. And if we turn on C deck, so the C deck landing area has proper flooring now. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm just going through and kind of just finishing and polishing various bits of the kind of the interiors that need sorting out, sort of ahead of the public demo release. There's a bit of a laundry list of things which need to be polished, so I'm just kind of getting that done. Something different I'm going to do with these stairs is, previously I had the light built in. So if we look at these old ones, you can see some very simple geometry there. I mean, it's not even embedded or anything, it's actually just stuck to the step. And you can see here how like none of these have nice edges. It's not sort of countersunk or anything. Generally speaking, it's just all a bit rough and ready. And again, this top section is just a piece of wood with a light on it. No part of it was really properly done. So I'm very much rectifying that now. How are we plan setting up servers, because Steam only provides some resources, but not really any dedicated servers? Yeah, so we will have a dedicated server executable on Steam. You'll be able to use it outside of Steam as well. But in the same way where you just host a session on Steam, if you use the dedicated server executable, you can just have that Steam game running. And you can run more than one game at once on Steam. So if you were to then join that game, you would simply connect to the game that's already running on the dedicated server executable. Essentially, it's just a headless client that will run on Steam. Or alternatively, you could get that hosted on a server somewhere. The model we're adopting is essentially the same as Minecraft. I'm quite a fan of how Minecraft handles multiplayer. It's quite versatile. There's a lot you can do with it, so we're adopting the same model. Yeah, exactly that. So we'll provide the headless client, you provide the server hardware. Right, so I was just trying to remember how big of an edge I had on this, and I think 2 inches was sounds about right. So we want the middle bit as a separate piece. A question about the custom alien races. If you have below Commodore and make one, will there be a way to give it to another person to use it in the D&D thing I've been hearing about? So the alien races, which are essentially backer races, those are added to the game proper for everybody. So there'll be a long database of all of the backer races, and they'll just exist in the galaxy for all players. With the GM tools, you'll be able to make local custom races and custom star systems, and those will be available on a save game locally on your computer. And if you then host a multiplayer session, those custom races and those custom systems will be available just on that multiplayer game. Anyone that's not on your multiplayer game obviously won't see those custom things you've designed. So the idea with the GM tool is you'll be able to set up multiple star systems, multiple new races, and host a story with those races in that particular isolated environment. If that makes sense. Hey Mr. Seeker, thanks for joining the stream. Why does autosave always kick in just when I click something? Actually, talking of autosave, there's a funny story with these stairs. So I'd already built the actual structure for the stairs, and the step height and the curve and all of that. And I was kind of pretty much an hour in to doing that work. And Claire happened to then drop an extension lead in a puddle outside, which tripped our household electrics. And because the autosave is hourly, and the last autosave was like 59 minutes previous, I had to start the stairs again, which was, let's say, frustrating, to say the least. But then, like some kind of absolute madman, I built the stairs like opposite to this, so this was the upside up bit and this was the down bit. And I was like, why did I do that? So then I had to delete half of that and redo that as well. So these stairs have been a thorn in my side this week. So I'm happy to get them finished. It's true, she does. How big of an edge should we put on this? Clearly not 5. One's a bit too small. 2 maybe. Let's go with 2. That. Why did it lose that edge? So I can get countersunk down inside there. It can go away. Wolf to Wolf, yes. So the custom races that are saved locally are part of the save game. We'll probably have a separate file for that, just to make it easier. So you'll be able to create essentially an infinite number of local races and local custom star systems, and they'll just be saved locally on a save file. If you give that save file to someone else, then they will obviously have those custom things that you made. I might actually do it with like a SQLite database, because our real world stars are in a SQL database, so I might do the same for the custom content as well. It probably makes sense to do it with that. And then it's easy to add, edit, and delete outside of the game if necessary. Now the question is, do we want that to be all the way to the back, or do we want cut off? Because the previous ones, yeah, they were more of a step with some wood across the back there. I think I preferred that. And then I'll round off the bottom of this one as well. These ones had a much sharper edge to them. Centimeters should do it. prefer that. Round off these edges as well, just to make it all nice and smooth. Functional lifts is an interesting one. I mean, the lift that's in the VIP lounge, granted it's just going up and down automatically. To add a call function to that, you're not talking about a huge amount of work. Because rather than having the lift automatically going where it wants to, you just have it stay on whatever floor was last on the call list. Because I would do it in the way that rather than building a lift algorithm where it prioritizes floor distance and that sort of thing, I'll just do it on a first come first serve basis. So whatever order the floors are pressed in, that's the order the lift will go to, and it will just keep appending to the list and then move accordingly to the pre-designated world coordinates for that floor. And then if that was the last floor on the lift will just stay there until another button is pressed somewhere else. Yeah, so that should be relatively straightforward. The harder part of that is dealing with prop physics, because it's not just the lift itself that's moving. You also need to have a think about how props are going to behave in that lift, especially when you have optimizations where the physics are turned off if the object is not currently moving. So you get into situations where the object will go idle because the lift has stopped, but then when the lift moves, the object is still idle, so it stays locked in space, and then the lift just goes through it. So it's that sort of thing, which is the more time-consuming side of things. Yeah, all of the railings will be added to the customization. There's a few additional areas that I want to be individually customizable. So there's the handrails, like ship wide, because you've got essentially hard set wooden handrails on the bridge, for instance. So it would be nice to be able to specify what material gets used there. So if you wanted, say, a red acrylic handrail on the bridge for reasons, then you could do that. Yeah, the way I do it in the lounge Voorhees is that there's a trigger box on the lift car, and whenever the lift car is about to move, it does an overlap check for any props that might be there, and it wakes them up. It basically casts to them and tells them to wake up as the lift moves. So they automatically turn on physics whenever the lift car moves. It's probably not the most efficient way of doing it, but it does work. Why are you not direction looking vertically? Let's fix this little overhanging bit before we do that. Okay, that's better. What's going on here? Make the front edge quite as rounded. When it comes to the light fitting that's going to go onto here, I'm going to make that a separate object. So before, the light that you see coming from these is produced by a child actor, and this entire stair object is all part of what is actually a light fitting. So you've got essentially this, and this in itself is a light. very odd looking light, of course, but it is a light as far as the game is concerned. Which is no good, really. This just needs to be stair geometry and not have the additional complication of being treated as a light fitting. So the stair geometry will become just simple geometry, and then each of these strip lights will be a separate object in their own right, which means each one can be damaged independently and will take care of its own colour. What I do want to do though is create a bit of a recess for it, so it's not just stuck to the front of the step in a very kind of crude way. So if we go about 2 inches in. Yeah, I agree. The dev shed definitely needs to be in the game somewhere. It's too funny not to do it. I maybe go about that much bigger. Countersink this maybe 1 centimetre, not by much, just to give it a bit of geo. Yeah. Maybe just round it up as well. And that just gives us this sort of countersunk groove, which we can then put the light fitting into. I suppose on that note, we also need the light fitting. So if we level that much, maybe about that. maybe something like that. So the indent on these steps is going to have to be identical to the indent on these steps for all of that to line up. Because obviously I then have to position each of these lights in place manually, which is going to be painful deck by deck. So we've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. So that's 17 lights across all the decks. It's going to be a hardship. But it'll be worth it, because it means each one of these lights will actually just be an individual object, which is just better overall. You can smash one without smashing the rest of them. I was never comfortable with the idea that if you shoot the stairs, then all of the lights go out. It just didn't really make much sense. Right, okay, so that's that one done, I reckon. I just need to do the same on this one. Yes, we live in the beautiful medieval village of Dunster, which has a castle, a steam train, and an ancient yarn market, which is really cool. Nut star? What's a nut star? Just need to extend the step out a little bit. Yes, it's Dunster Castle. I'll show you a picture. And that's a painting. Don't want a painting, a picture. So that's the village street where we are. So that's the yarn market, which is dates back hundreds and hundreds of years. I can't remember how many. There's actually a hole in it from the English Civil War, so it's very, very old. And that's Dunster Castle up there. It's a proper kind of postcard medieval village. It's very stereotypically sort of old English, which we love. Yes, Sarah, absolutely. No worries, Max. We will forgo the detention this time round. Don't want to be stuck in a storm and have detention. That would suck. I'm sure both of those sound fun to do on paper, but I'm sure experiencing it in real life is probably quite a different experience. So I need to now get the groove on there exactly the same as the groove on here. I suppose the easiest way to do that is just to copy that on this one. Should have done it. So that should be identical to that one, which means that the light should fit exactly. Hey Jim. Yes, Yuki, the ship will have not so much escape pods, more lifeboats. I've never been a fan of the single occupant kind of space coffin idea, so there'll actually be more kind of naval-esque lifeboats where each one will house a number of people. Remember when last time I did this, angling this edge here looked a bit weird. Here's one I prepared earlier. Yeah, I might do the same where I angle the outer edge, but not the inside edge. Weird. That's much better. Just to hide edge bits. If I was on the right group then. Ignore any squeaking you might hear. It's not me, it's our rescued pigeons. Which now flap. What else needs to be polished? Interior-wise, it's the main stairwell area. The most time-consuming bit of which is the stairs. There's the stairs in engineering. They're a lot simpler, so they won't take anywhere near as long. Again, because of the deck separation change. That will enable us to rebuild the nav mesh, so all the NPCs can path around again. And then for the outer sections of the ship, and by that I mean, just find the right thing. That'll do. So all these sections out here, what I want to do is just do them as bare framework. I may not have enough time to get to that, but that's kind of what I'd like to do. So rather than having a lid on it like you've got here with a solid hull, it will instead look more like these framework sections here, and it'll be open to space. So what you'll actually have is the skeleton of the ship fully exposed, all the way to the front and the rear. So it will actually look like a ship that's under construction. And I think that would be much cooler for the demo release than just have it covered in bare, untextured metal. Thank you, Firstus, that wasn't necessary. But thank you anyway, it's appreciated. But yeah, other than just these geometry bits here that need sorting out, it's the sensors UI on the bridge, just getting that nice and polished. I want to add some camera zoom controls to the accessibility options. We've had a few people with like vision impairment, and because there's a lot of small text in the game, they want to be able to zoom the camera in more. So if we put a zoom slider, then when you hold the right mouse button down, you can control just how far that zooms in. That should be quick and easy to do. Changing the camera modes so that no head bob is the priority, default camera mode, and then when you press C it turns head bob on rather than the other way around, because you get a lot of people suffering with the head bob and you want to be able to turn it off. So if you make off the default, then it makes people's lives a little bit easier. What else? There were a couple of little things like that. And then it's just spending a couple of weeks just working through the bug tickets, clearing out as many bugs as possible. I think once we've kind of broken the back of the bug tickets and everything's all polished, then we'll feel confident in putting out a stable demo release. So what we never want to do is put out a release which is problematic in some way. We don't want buggy releases or unfinished releases. Granted, there's not a lot in the way of content sometimes, but what is there needs to be stable. Thank you, Festus. The shed fund has returned. So that's yeah, it's going towards the dev shed. Claire wants to move our fish out into a pond, so we're going to have a mental health fish pond as well. A wellness pond, one might say. No, life generation is definitely going to be in the next demo update. That's kind of the main feature, really. That's the main thing I wanted to get into it. Content-wise, anyway. I mean, the idea there really is just demonstrating the fact that life is a thing in the galaxy, and demonstrating the fact that we can create diverse life across the galactic space in a procedural way. This edge did not go as planned. Is erroring. And it is this bit. What I'll do with that actually is I'll redo that rounded edge there. 'Cause that just isn't good enough. we go. Much better. Okay, what's he complaining about this time? Edge in here somewhere, which is obviously too close to another edge. Can't see it though. I'll wait for autosave as always. Let's merge any vertices that are closer than half a centimetre. There's obviously a stray vertex in there somewhere that's messing up the algorithm. Okay, so like last time, we just need to put on the light strip. Actually, I need all of that geometry. Make it a group so it doesn't mess up the existing geometry. Where is the middle? There it is. Then we'll just align that vertically. Right, and now it should be in the right place. Perfect. keep that face because it keeps adding it. So be careful they don't have the same any faces with the default texture on them, because that's an additional draw. Now the interesting bit here is going to be the attachment points, because they need probably some bits that flare out to the side if we're going with visible bolts. I can't decide whether we are. It probably will actually. Yeah, if I turn on that. So I need to bring it out a little bit more because I misjudged that edge. That needs to be slightly more that way. And I'll have a back plate on there, which is slightly wider than the stairs. And then we have an edge that flares out there. Then we can put some honking great bolts in there, holding the stairs on. Again, just a bit of visual interest to sell the fact that this is very physically constructed. It's not just magically there. Yeah, these are in the wrong layer, so let's just grab these because they're not where they should be. Okay, that's weird. I think SketchUp might be bugging a little bit now. That does not look healthy. At some point I'm going to have to split this file up into separate decks. I think once we've got all the holes in the right place and all the stairs in the right place, I'll start separating it out to separate deck files, because SketchUp's beginning to get a bit overwhelmed with the amount of geometry. Poor thing can't handle it. Like that, it's just removed those objects. I mean, I don't think it's really removed them. be able to get rid of that now. So these things should all line up fairly well. Yeah, this one here was a bit of a pain to sort out, because the wall panel that covers this one obviously has to bend over that gap, and similarly with this one, we need some way of bridging that space with a wall panel. I think the most sensible way I can do it would be to line the join of the two panels up with a center point here, so that the join down here kind of exactly lines up with the join down there. It's probably the cleanest way I can do that. And then this will need a separate section anyway. I shall cross that bridge further when I actually have the panels. So we do need one of these here and here, which means that goes to there, and then that one just needs to cover that section. So grab that. Yeah, gameplay-wise, I suppose the closest thing you could call gameplay is going to be planetary scanning and discovering life in and around the galaxy. A lot of what we're doing right now is just kind of proving the base tech, making sure that it works, making sure that the things we want to do are fully possible in the way that we want to do them. And so far so good on that front. So that bit can flare out there. I'll do a different bracket there, probably with 4 bolts on it, so that it can connect up. That's just going to have to be one big piece there, I think. So yeah, our plan for the next 2 updates. So the update we're working on right now is the planetary scanning and the first discoveries of life in the galaxy. Again, that's just going to be text descriptions on the sensors UI. So it'll give you an overview of what type of life it is, how old the life is, how developed it is, if it's intelligent life, then what's its tech level, all that sort of thing. That life won't have a physical presence in the galaxy yet, but it will exist in terms of the code and the generation. So the gameplay, in kind of air quotes there, is going out there and discovering that life and seeing what kind of diversity of life you can find in the galaxy. The update after that one, we're going to focus on the bridge crew. So we'll have some bridge NPCs, we'll start implementing the ability to order them around, and we'll also have the repair and wear and tear on components. So the engineering NPCs will go about their business and repair things and maintain things as they degrade on the ship. So that's just, again, it's getting those core systems in place and kind of demonstrating the kind of tech that we want in the game and showing how that will work. So on the bridge, it's a case of, this is how you will command the NPCs, this is how you will do things outside of your role, and this is a demonstrator for how an engineering team will automatically repair and look after the ship without you needing to do it. Again, just to demonstrate those systems actually working within the game in the environment that they're supposed to. Not quite sure what we'll focus on the third update. I'd like to do sublight engines, sublight control, wormholes, and just having the ship able to collide with things in the galaxy. Because once we've got all the collision system and everything sorted, we can start actually adding things like asteroids and rocks to crash into and that sort of thing. But we'll see. We'll see what comes up over the next few months as we work on these systems. It's like with the bridge crew for the update after the current one, priorities tend to kind of switch depending on need. And we occasionally poll the community as well and let the community have a voice in what we work on next. And we've done that a couple of times actually, and it works really well. So we'll probably do that again. We'll do a list of things that we can work on next and maybe let the community vote on which one we actually work on next. That could be quite good. Right, so let's sort out this next. So that's in the wrong place. So let's make sure we sort that out. fixed. Down a bit as well. Thinking something a bit like that. Needs to come out more. Gives us visible bolts there. And then the panel going there. Awkward edge to do this because it's not on a straight line. Again. Oh yeah, you're right. Well done. I missed that. It's carrying the curve around, isn't it? Into the wall a little bit there. So what I'll have to do is make this top step a unique object from the other two. Because obviously they're wrapping around a curve, which is no longer there on this side. Come back to that bit. Went fairly hitch-free. Now, so this top step's going to have to be a unique object as well, for the simple reason that this needs to be curved. Not sure why I stepped it back so much. Actually, another point here. I did actually want to angle this section so it kind of comes out a little bit. The stairs will be visually destructible, but not physically destructible. So whilst they'll look all smashed up and tattered, they need to be still navigable for NPCs. As soon as you start breaking things that NPCs think they can walk through, it all kind of goes to hell a little bit. So, like with the floor panels, the floor panel will be smashed up and you'll be able to see through it and see all the stuff underneath. But the collision mesh will stay flat so that the NPC crew can still navigate over that broken floor panel. And the same will have to remain true for the stairs as well. Maybe in the future we can have more sophisticated NPC behavior where they can actually deal with blocked off areas. But for now, we need to keep it navigable. Yeah, because they won't be broke. They'll be like visually damaged. They'll be tatty and ripped up and with broken edges and things, but you'll still be able to use them. At least initially, until the system's fleshed out. Yeah, basically. So every wall panel, every floor tile, everything in the game is going to have two stats essentially. It's going to be its health / damage and its state of like cleanliness, for want of a better word. So things will get grunged up over time. So floors will start to get dirty, walls will start to get dirty, and the dirt texture will get stronger and stronger as that stat goes down. And the using cleaning tools within the game will restore those things back to a cleanly state. And eventually, in the long term, that will have an effect on NPC morale. So crew morale will drop if the surroundings are dirty and trashed. Obviously, that's with the dirt stats. With the damage stats, they will physically become damaged. Yes, Anasi. So long term, if let's say a part of the ship is completely sealed off, it could have been on fire, or it could have been an area exposed to vacuum. When those bulkheads are sealed, we need NPCs to be able to dynamically path their way around the problem area, or deal with the fact that if the job they might have in their jobs list is suddenly inaccessible, then there needs to be code in place to deal with that outcome. Eventuality, rather. Again, it's iterative, so we'll start with a basic system, get the basic system polished and working nicely, and then we'll iterate on that system and start to add more complexity. Yeah, Dave, exactly. RimWorld all over again. Yeah, Robert, that would be amazing. Sadly, the water table is far too high here. We're essentially at sea level where we live, so if you were to dig down, you'd hit the water table pretty sharpish. Because I would love a giant underground bunker. That would be so cool. In fact, when we were pulling up lots of concrete slabs in the garden, I was like hitting them with a sledgehammer, and some of them sounded really hollow, and I was like, oh, maybe this one's got a bunker under it. Alas, none of them did. This one's probably going to be more complicated because we've got the curve to deal with. Thanks, Floristic. Thanks for joining the stream. We have to do something like this, perhaps. Might actually square that off a little bit more. Just kind of adjust that curve slightly to compensate. So I'm just thinking when I've got the other panels alongside that, they're going to need to line up. Done. In the wall. Okay. So we have our steps, we have our attachment points. I guess the next thing really is the handrail. No problem, Wolf to Wolf. Thanks for joining the stream. Suppose I suppose I'll do the rounding bits there next. So if I hide that, let's round off these bits. This side is going to be awkward. So the white section here is supposed to be the lip. So the wall panel that goes around the bit that's between decks, it's going to overlap all the way around and join up with the panel that's on there. And then the floor tiles are going to join up on the other side. So this is the dividing line between the floor tiles and the stairs. So ideally, really that could do with being just straight all the way across. So really, kind of does need to be that way around. At least gives us a consistent line. Then this top step can just be cut accordingly. Obviously it's all a little bit weird because everything's on a curve. But that does look cleaner. So similarly then, this needs to be the same. Slightly more awkward because the steps are in the wrong place. We also have a slope to take care of. To be honest, it's going to be very, very cool if we can do just separate pieces that can be 3D printed and joined together. So you could literally have the framework and the wall panels and like physically build them for real. That would just be immensely cool. I'd love that. Turn that deck off, it keeps getting in the way. That doesn't quite line up. Why would it line up? Okay, yeah, it's going to work better if that joins there like that, because I can round off these edges then, join that in better. And what I'll do is I'll just extend these steps ever so slightly. So they fill that gap. Just need to make sure this lines up nicely. I use a Bezier curve to smooth that before I finalize it. Totally worth it though. this gap is 15 centimeters, so if I want a handrail, it's 5 centimeters? No, 2 inches is probably too thin, isn't it? Let's go 10, so that needs to be 2.5. Yeah, I think sending probes down to planetary surfaces. What are we on now? So yeah, we're in August now. Yeah, I'd say early next year, realistically. This section here was painful to do. Actually, why is it a little weird like that? I think it's because I've taken the middle section there. So what I will do is we can't have it like that. That won't do it at all. If we no, that won't work either. Right, what I'll do, if I take the outer edge there, if we stick that sort of handrail height up, just find our opposite edge a minute. That's our 15. does feel a bit small for a handrail. How big's the old one? More specifically, which level did I put it on? The floors? No. Oh, autosave. The last demo update was in November. So, yeah, so we are approaching a year. But the goal is to do quarterly updates. This one's a bit different because there's been so much Galaxy work and behind the scenes stuff that's needing to be done, all of which has been time consuming. So it's been a bit of an outlier. But yeah, I think one update per quarter is definitely the target. You add it there somewhere. So this one is okay. It's on 7.5. Feels better. Curving. Let's curve the wrong way. There's a plugin where you can force upright orientation when you're extruding along a line like that. I might even have it in that one. not recognizing that as an edge, typically. And I think the pipe tool literally just makes a pipe. Yeah, which is not useful. Okay, so there's the face, there's the line. Does it want them to be connected, I wonder? Nope, it just doesn't like it. Fine, I'll do it a different way. Yeah, 4 updates a year it's not too bad as long as the updates are kept small. And I think the issue that we've had a few times over the course of development is the updates tend to be too big, so we try and cram too much into a particular update, and that just pushes timescales out. So, fighting that feature creep and really just sticking to our guns on what it is we're including in the update is critical to maintaining a steady release cadence. It's definitely not something we've got right every time, and this current update's a perfect example of that. Too much in one update, and also too much which requires overhauling existing things, overhauling the entire sensors panel, in addition to adding all the scanning content that comes with that, which of course also requires the holo display to be updated, and at the same time rebuilding the ship. So there's way too much stuff there for a single update, and that was a mistake. That's something to do differently next time. And yes, we'll have more people over time. So as time goes on, the team will grow and grow, and things will come out quicker. Yeah, it's Claire's always asking me, does that need to be in this update? Can that be pushed back? And usually it's a case of, well, it's kind of adjacent to the thing I'm working on, so I may as well do it while I'm working on that thing. And of course, you do that several times, and all of a sudden you've got an exponential curve of extra stuff that you're adding to the patch. So that's going to be a hassle to extrude. I'll try this one, see whether this one is a less drastic shape. It might be happier with it. So we need to weld the edge, select the edge and the face, and extrude No, it is not liking it. I'm assuming again because it's not liking the edge. Yeah. I mean, is it literally just broken? Won't even do a straight line. Okay. I shall get a newer version of the upright extruder. That should fix that problem. Because we want the handrail to remain upright all the way down the course of the curve. Otherwise, you get these weird twisting effects. Although, does it do it on this one? Yeah, because you end up with this happening, which is no good. I think the other issue with the upright extruder, of course, is it is extruding the face upright. When it gets to an extreme angle, you end up with a oddly squished handrail. Could do, I suppose, is if I the problem with the face is that at the edges it's all lovely and smooth, but with the center line geometry you end up with, I don't know if you can see it there, but it's kind of bumpy. And that bumpiness carries through onto the next piece. What I can do, however, is if I do that, I can draw a center line all the way down, and then we can smooth out the triangulation. Essentially, that's why it's gone like that. Because it's triangulated, you get these uneven edges. I've increased the geometry density to try and sort of take into account the tightness of the curve. But as you can see here, as we're going down, it's not perfectly flat, and that comes out in the handrail. But this edge will be perfectly flat because we're just taking the midpoints. then kind of want that to get parallel there. And the same at the top. Get rid of that one. And stick that one up there. Will it follow that more cleanly? No, not in the slightest. The curve is smooth though, so that's something. And does the upright extruder like it? No. I spelled it right. That'll help there. No way he installed it that quickly. Try this one. Sadly, no. Well, you'll know. Okay, so that did exactly what I wanted it to do. Only it didn't actually create any faces. So it was almost a success. Yeah, a pair of rails would be interesting. That should work though. Let's just try that again a minute. Offset, wasn't it? No, it wasn't offset. I don't even remember which one it was now. Faces? So I don't want to reverse the failures. You don't erase that. The pair of rails idea was an interesting one. Let's try that a sec. It would help if I knew how the plugin worked. Yeah, clicking randomly tends to do the job sometimes. Holy hell, that's not what we wanted. Abort. Well, that's just awesome. Profile curve is that one, and then the first rail curve is the same one. Okay, hang on, it wants 3 rails. We might be getting somewhere. So, profile curve, first rail, second rail. Oh, it was another curve. We don't have another curve. Let's go with the face. Ooh, I've just had an idea actually. I can get this to stop doing what it's doing. It's going to be fascinating to see what this actually comes up with. Wow. I knew it would be interesting. Okay then. So that didn't work. My genius idea was to actually use Curviloft. Probably wants a completed circle. Not quite what we wanted. We've got yeah, we've got a Mobius strip instead of a handrail. That was almost good. Right, I think what I will do is I will find a solution to this off stream, because otherwise I'm just going to be clutching at straws in the dark until I find the right solution. Fun though experimentation is. Oh yeah, so that was the other little nightmare, is fitting in the base of it as well. So I was going to go with a slightly indented base, just to give it a bit more geometry, a bit more interesting shape. And I'll probably actually embed some lights underneath, because right now we don't have very much in the way of stairwell lighting, so that would be good just to have some lights in there. Are they part of the main object? No, they're not. Join them together. So there's a similar issue here, whereby to make this face smooth all the way around the curve, we've got some vertices that need lining up, and there's an odd number of vertices on each side, so they don't quite line up one to one. So I just need to spend some time just tidying them up. You can actually get the chairs back up the stairs if you press spacebar, because you can do little chair hops. Yeah, I wanted to make it so that you can't just roll them upstairs. You actually have to go to the effort of like hopping in the chair. So let's export this as is. Find the existing object. Should be this one. Yeah, you can see I had a similar issue with this one, where it's actually twisted, but it's not twisted particularly badly, so it's not really noticeable, but it's definitely got that twist there. So it's definitely something I want to fix. And it's much too low poly as well. Yeah, and that was one of the storylines we've actually got in mind for expansion 1, is having like a clandestine like chair racing league on the ship, which takes place when none of the commanding officers are looking. It's an old fun. Probably do with changing that. I think it would be quite a funny twist if, the captain is asking the first officer to investigate, what is all this about a rumor of chair racing league, only to find out that it's actually the first officer that was organising it. And the geometry here is automatically looking a hell of a lot nicer, so that is good. Right, so that one would be that one. No, Doubter, I didn't see that. RAJ, yes, they definitely will. So this mesh isn't nanite enabled, so let's get that turned on and then we can get our nice carpet textures. All update. Oh, some collisions back on there. And let's sort out. So the stairs are in a slightly different place to what they were. So that should be 600? No, a bit more than that. Why don't we have our nanite carpets? For some reason it's showing the fallback mesh rather than the full mesh. Yeah, the problem with copying the face of the white support mesh is that the triangulation between the two edges causes like a bumpy effect, which doesn't give you a nice smooth handrail. So what I need to do, I've got the path, I just need to extrude the right shape along that path. But off stream I'll go and find a better upright extruder that can do that properly, where it doesn't twist as it goes down the path. Not sure why it's defaulting to the now like fallback mesh. So what I'm going to do is restart the editor. Before I do that, if we let's just do the normals and see how that sorts it out. Right, let's just restart Unify for a sec. Yeah, what I should be doing really is, rather than trying to do it pure hard surface, I should really be using some subdivision and just rough out the handrail and then use subdivision to smooth it all off. Ultimately, that would probably be the more efficient way of doing it. I wonder if it's because I got a transparent material on there. Let's get rid of that a minute. Oh yeah, that was it. Nanite doesn't support transparency, so because there was a transparent material in the list of materials, it forced it to fall back to the fallback mesh. So now we've got our proper fluffy carpets. And the proper full geometry. That's better. That's what we like to see. Yep, they should be traversable. I will quickly run up and down them just to check. I imagine that the rounded edge might trip the character up. Let's give it a quick try. Yeah, I love those carpets up close. This is already 5.4. 5.4.3 if I recall. Yeah. 5.4.3. Yeah. That one needs moving. Oh yes, I think you were looking at the default one. Aha, stairs. Yay. Okay. Why do I have no carpets? Why have they all defaulted to A deck? Yeah, engineering is next. Let's just sort these out a sec. So we want them to be visible from A and B, because if we're coming down the stairs, you want to see them through the door. And then all the rest of them on this deck. So you, and you, all of you should just be B deck. I suppose on C deck, because you're coming up the stairs. Which is only really relevant to about there, I suppose. And all these ones can just be B deck. And these ones are B, C, and D. So this is part of the optimization. So you tell each actor which deck it's visible from, and if you're not on those decks, then it will just hide the actor, and you won't have to include that actor in any of the occlusion checks or anything like that. So it just keeps it performant. Right, let's just sort the stairs out in just 1 minute. So that needs to be there. Can go. It's definitely the quality carpet choice. Yeah, I love these up close, just especially where they catch the light. It's very pretty. It's going to be nice when the lighting strips in there properly as well. It's a nice thing about that is I can give each one its own proper lighting radius and everything. Have the right text associated with them. B. So it should be visible. Yep, maintenance on everything. No, I'm going to call it a night in a minute actually, because it's been about 3¼ hours. Interesting. One of the really fun things about game dev is when things just happen. Like where did the table go? Just, I haven't touched the table. Why is it no longer there? Why is this carpet no longer here? So once this is properly set up with the trim and everything, that will come across there like that. So this trim will be the true edge. We'll have to do some balustrades in here. Oh, have you got all the way down? Appear to be stuck. Oh, there we go. Well, the beds in the stateroom require that the stateroom itself be fleshed out. So yeah, so this all needs properly doing. We've already got the wall supports in place, so it just needs paneling. But obviously the bed needs a nice frame round it. It all needs designing nicely. Yeah, that's a good point actually. This is one of the nanite issues. I had to remove the glass material because nanite obviously doesn't do glass. So I need to re-export this mesh without glass in the mesh, so I can make glass a separate mesh that cannot be nanite enabled. It's never straightforward. There's always something that trips you up. Does the Heidi thing work with this? Oh, it does. I love this feature that you can just, if you press I, it toggles the floors on and off, but it does it from where you're stood. So if I stand over here, it'll do it from here. Silly little things. optimization works as well. Good. Okay, so we need some kind of ceiling lights up here above the stairwell, both sides. These ceiling lights here need replacing with something more ornate. Don't panic, Claire, I'm not doing it for the update. I can just hear her blood pressure rising in the background. The stairwell, however, does need lights. Oh yeah, plants and so on. To be honest, I thought I deleted them. I'm sure when they made a return. Right, okay, well, now that we have functioning stairs, I shall go ahead and put a build out. And before I do that, one last thing I'll do is I will do a nav build. So in order to do that, and this might fail because we're on stream, so I'll just save everything. This might very well crash, so in order to do the nav mesh build, every single level has to be turned on. I'll hook Steve up to the chicken code, so he'll just do a free room. Few more levels to go. Right, okay, that should be everything. It's an interesting example of the optimization, the way it performs, because I'm getting 30 to 40 frames a second here, whereas in game I get 100 plus, and that's purely thanks to the optimizations doing their thing. think these floor actors have been replaced with the default floor actor, which means there's probably a plane somewhere. Find those in a sec. Right, so to join the decks together, you kind of need these nav mesh bridges, and they're going to be in the wrong place. And I need to press G, which is going to make it lag like hell. Yeah, there we go. So that's one of the nav links. Got a new icon recently, that's good. Yeah, the blur is fully moddable. Right, let's turn on our nav mesh. There is none right now. Let's move you down a bit. You down a bit as well. Build paths. Okay, so nav mesh. It's connected there. Good. Right, so there's no. Oh, right, yeah, because those stairs are a separate mesh, so that's fine. Nav mesh through here. It's probably broken down here. Yeah, there's the stairs. Good, need to fix that. So they're traversable all the way up. So okay through here. Okay, so we should have a functioning nav mesh. Where's clock hiding? Ah, there you are. Right, you definitely have a nav mesh to walk on, so you should be able to move. There's 2 chickens. Oh, right, because I had a second NPC level. That's right, yeah. This level's not loaded in the game, so confused me then. That's pretty horrendous. Just want to see whether or not Steve can actually move. Probably isn't going to be doing any animations. Is there a reason you're sat in the chair? Level you are on assistant level, that's no good. We want you on the A deck interior for now. Hopefully he won't get stuck on anything. Gotta love a note that says make the chicken a projectile. Right, so so we want to do walkie. Right, so chicken walk, chicken run, idle. So third person idle. It's actually the chicken that runs around is actually originally a projectile from a chicken gun. So you can fire chickens out of the chicken gun. They kind of fly through the air, bounce around a bit, and get up and walk around. Oh, off he goes. I think his speeds might be a bit wrong. Do we want him running or do we just want him walking? It's a pretty aggressive strut he's got there. I imagine it would be quite terrifying if you just walk around a corner and he's like literally running at you. Yeah, he's obviously just a temporary thing for a laugh. Right, hang on then. Steve, stop trashing the place. Are we setting the speeds? So that's obviously way too slow. So do walk a 60. That's 6 meters a second. That can't be right. Obviously, he's just playing an animation, he's not doing any foot locking or any kind of proper locomotion. Although, it does give me an idea. Where are you going, Steve? Where are you going? Still a bit slow, maybe? That doesn't look too bad. The walk speed's still a bit slow, so up that to 100. So the default ALS NPC, it's proper creepy. It constantly faces the player and kind of runs around in a very human and creepy-like way. I'm not actually sure. I still actually have that installed. It's not an engine. Oh, yeah, there we go. If that one works still, it might not, because there's a lot of edits to it. Technically, if I replace the animation mesh with Steve, he should have very lifelike movements. Come on, Steve, I want to see you walk. Still a bit foot slimy. He's looking out wistfully at his home. I do need to re-implement the Roombas actually. They're still in the game code. Ah, now he walks. A 20-meter radius there. And, yeah, 40-meter radius. I reckon maybe 150 for his walk speed. And then we want to do away with that. So a random with weight. So 75% of the time he's going to walk, and 25% of the time he will run. In fact, let's do it 80. Stop him running around quite so much. I'm not quite sure where the ALS dude ran off to. Stick you over there. Yeah, because thinking about it, I think the ALS character needs the ALS skeleton, which of course Steve's not mapped to, so he wouldn't work with the ALS one, which is a shame because it gets well freaky. Yeah, there he is. That's more like it, Steve. That's almost perfect, I think. Too bright. He really likes this bathroom for some reason. Yeah, the ALS guy is not doing the creepy thing that he used to do. He used to always face the player at all times. So as he was running around like this, he'd constantly be looking back at the player, which was quite surreal. Doesn't seem to be doing that right now. So you can go away. That Steve can go. And then this Steve, he can go somewhere else. So let's move. Let's pop him down on C deck somewhere. Somewhere there's a floor, preferably. Nav mesh here. manner of fashion. Steve, you can start there. Then you can have fun jumping out on people as they walk around the ship. So, an interesting question is, where's the ADEC floors gone? So if we just turn off the stuff we don't need. Joker, that's probably because you have a controller plugged in. We seem to have a bug where the controller makes the mouse disappear. We haven't quite got to the bottom of why yet. So there's the missing floors. One of right, that's all the floors fixed. something I did is I moved all the floors onto a unified actor. So rather than having separate child actors for every single different floor piece, it's now using just a single floor master. So every floor is the same actor, just with a different mesh specified, which means we can keep the code condensed. Okay, so I think should be everything. So last thing to do is we set this to 33. And then we will do the build, which I shall do off stream because it completely freezes everything up. Right, so I'll do that now. So in the next hour or so, you should see the build hit Steam. And then you could have fun searching out Steve running around CDEC. And for now, while that's building, I shall go and have a quick shower, I think. So thank you everyone for watching the stream. Sorry it wasn't super interesting this week, just doing a bit of modelling. On Sunday stream, I shall get into a bit more code, I think. See if we can finish off some of this planet and life scanning and stuff. Get that done and dusted. So, have a good one everyone. Be safe, and I shall see you on the next stream.